All right. Welcome, everyone. It's your girl, PJamma from PJamma Lyfe. And today we're here with our buddies to talk about the Star Wars holiday specials. So, with us today, we have the professor of all things Star Wars, David, and our resident Star Wars fanatic, Patrick. Hey, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Happy Life Day, Pam.
Happy Life Day, David. Happy Life Day, Patrick.
Right.
So today, we're gonna talk about, since it's the holiday season, we want to kick it off with two very important Star Wars shows. One is the original Star Wars holiday special, and then we're going to talk about the Lego Star Wars holiday special. And both center on Life Day, which is a celebration of friends and family and love. So let's show some stills of since this was about 1978, I think.
Yes.
Let's look at some of the stills from the original Star Wars holiday special.
BR.
Yeah, you have B. Arthur, Art Carney, all of the cast, Leia, Luke, Chewie, C-3PO, R2-D2, and we get introduced to Chewbacca's family. And Diane Carroll makes a shocking appearance.
Yes.
There's a crazy Star Wars cartoon in it. There's dancing. B. Arthur does a song. Harvey Korman does two little skits. And you have the whole cast of the episode, everyone making cameos. So the story centers around Life Day, and Chewbacca is trying to get back home because it's a very important celebration in the world since the Empire has been defeated. They can now have their special holiday, Life Day, which apparently was banned under the Empire. And then they're trying to get back. There's, of course, some star scenes. But the story focuses on Chewbacca's family, Nala, his wife, Itchy, her father, and their child, Lumpy. Which are the craziest names?
From Chewbacca to Lumpy.
Yeah, because I was kind of like, well, why isn't Lumpy named Scratchy? And then you can have Itchy and Scratchy. But okay, so my take on it is somebody was smoking something or taking some acid or something when they did this show. It is absolutely hilarious. Although I have to say, it did have some touching moments. But I was still kind of hung up on Diane Carroll's. It was like porn right in the middle of the episode. And she's apparently this VR character, and she's saying all this sexy stuff to the father-in-law, and it's wild. And then there's all these musical sequences, and Art Carney does a really good job. He's always great. And Harvey Korman does two really. The first one is like a take on Julia Child, and the second one is some kind of Vegomatic. I don't know what it was, but it was some kind of machine they were trying to work on. And it is just hilarious. You have got to see it. It's very nostalgic for those of us who might have seen it originally. Go back and watch it as an adult, and you see some crazy stuff happening that should not be in a children's show. But I mean, like I said, in the 70s, you can get away with a whole lot. you all think?
Oh man.
Wow. Where do we get? Well, it's like you said, it's the 70s. And for those of us that grew up in that time period, we remember that you could have slapped Star Wars on anything and it would have been fine. And apparently someone thought that they could throw enough crap together in the most unimaginable mishmash, like Harvey Korman, B. Arthur. Oh, we'll throw some Star Wars characters in here too. It'll be kind of Star Warsy, and we're gonna cobble together this thing and put it out there because it don't matter. It's got Star Wars on it. Everybody's gonna watch, and everybody did watch.
Everybody did watch.
That's right. Yeah, this was definitely, and George Lucas had just kind of contracted this out, but this is what happens when you get George Lucas's Star Wars mismatched with the writers of the Carol Burnett show, because they went to a variety show.
That's why.
And it was there, and everybody was excited to see it, but it was on so many levels so bad, but very special at the same time.
Right.
This was the introduction for Boba Fett in that cartoon with a little odd drawing. I think
was that the first time he was
the first? Shown? It was the introduction to Boba Fett, all of the mystique around him. So that was pretty powerful. You also saw some great outtakes, pieces of footage from the movie that were not included in the original Star Wars.
Yeah.
There are some scenes when they're before they go into the cantina. You've got some outtakes there of the Mos Eisley streets. I think one scene you see one of the characters, I think they refer to him as Little Buck Rogers. And he was running, and all you could see were the stilt legs. And so the stilted legs kind of walking through there, and he looks up, and then he runs through them. And that was cut out from the original movie, but they did include it here for that. A couple of scenes with Darth Vader and the character later named Chief Bass talking there, going through what was the Death Star, which in this version would have only been a Star Destroyer. But so I think there were some pieces there. A lot of things to roll your eyes at and laugh at. And a really wonderful solo by B. Arthur.
Not wonderful.
Barmaid.
That was hilarious. Oh, wow. It was something else. But the cartoon, that had to be the most poorly animated cartoon I've seen. It was, I thought Heavy Metal was bad, but this one was terrible.
Heavy Metal was bad, by the way, so.
But this one was terrible. The drawing, actually, the script of it was pretty good, but the drawings were so awful that you really couldn't get into it because it was just terrible to look at.
It was the high point of the entire.
Look at Han Solo there.
Look at them all.
Mick Jagger.
Awful. It was like somebody who'd never seen these people before in life. Just he kind of looks like this, and because that kind of looks like Spock. Solo, the way he's drawn, kind of looks like Spock. It's wild.
It's really bad. It's the early Marvel cartoons or comics did not do the lead characters justice really well, but this one especially bad too. But it was the best aspect in terms of storytelling throughout the entire piece. Of course, Carrie Fisher, she had her own solo singing the Life Day too. So B. Arthur not to be outdone, but Carrie Fisher singing as well.
And the song reminded me of Taste and See. If you go to Baptist churches or churches and that song, Taste and See, I was like, okay, so now they bringing hymns into it. So it was something else.
It was
Jefferson Starship, only in it because they'd renamed themselves from Jefferson Airplane to Jefferson Starship. So there you go.
It was just, but it did have some touching moments, I felt like. So it wasn't a total loss. When they all got together for Life Day, I thought that was really nice. I thought when Chewbacca came home and they all hugged and stuff. I thought that was really nice. And so it, to me, it wasn't a total like completely terrible as much as I thought it was. Seeing it, maybe I just become sentimental in the later years.
It was a hot mess. Yeah, it was like it's kind of like a Thanksgiving. It's like a Thanksgiving feast, you know. So the whole table's supposed to be great. Everything's supposed to be good on the table, but there were like one or two little dishes that were decent, and the rest of it was just burnt turkey and.
Who's cooking your dinner over there?
Well, my turkey was fine, thank you very much. But it's what I'm saying. It was like, you know, one of those. It would be like going thinking you're going to get a great Thanksgiving feast, and it's all going to be a great, you know, everything's going to be good. Be pretty. It's going to be Norman Rockwell, but no, it was more Andy Warhol. You
know. No, it was something.
Yeah.
But yet everyone was still so excited to see it. I think George Lucas was horrified. I think he swore it would never be reshown again. CBS had attempted, they had really wanted to show it again. So the only way you can see it is through the bootlegs. And some of the bootleg copies, I think, were really fun in that with those people had taped the commercials of the time as well. So, which was a nice piece of a, you know, 1970s Americana. A lot of the commercials noted, you know, buy from the USA, buy from American manufacturing. I thought that was fascinating. You know, NAFTA, when there were still a lot of things, you know, clothing and things that were made in this country. So that's like another little flavor of this piece. But it does scream that you know, the level of what you can get away with in the 70s.
Yes.
Virtual reality with Diane Carroll was something. I mean, Itchy is a dirty old Wookiee. And that was a little creepy. It was a little creepy.
Because he had his hand down.
he was tucking dirt in, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I was like, what's happening right now?
Right.
But you know, Diane Carroll was, I mean, she's super important as a Black actress. She's one of the first to win an Emmy. I think she is the first to have her whole series focusing on a Black woman. And I believe she might have won the Emmy for that role. It might have been one of the first to win an Emmy. So she's beloved. And but I was just kind of like, what in the world is she doing? Right. Lola Falana, I could have seen, but
she's doing what all these stars are doing right now. With if you're watching The Mandalorian, which we'll talk about next week, but all these stars are coming back to be in this because this is a hot property, and you want to get your name on it. And back then, man, there was nothing hotter than Star Wars.
No, there wasn't.
Everybody was rushing to get in. It didn't matter if I'm going to be singing a song to a dirty old man, dirty old Chewbacca or Wookiee, but it didn't matter. I want to be in this because this is name recognition. This is, you know, that's all they were looking at.
Yeah. But I was like, wow, this is crazy, and it was kind of like some psychedelic stuff going on too. So I was like, whew, these writers, what was going on? Now that you said that it was the Carol Burnett show, what in the world was going on in their writers' room? And then
the show, they didn't know what to do, obviously, with the content, with the topic. I mean, you know, they used some of those pieces, obviously, with Harvey Korman, that easily could have been on their show. I mean, that just kind of screams what they were doing. One of the other interesting tidbit with this, when the show came out, Kenner was scrambling to get action figures out the door. You will see many of the stills of some of those original Cantina aliens, for instance, on the card backs of the figures. Were shots not from the movie, but from the holiday special.
Wow.
Red Snaggletooth, holiday special. Greedo, holiday special. So that was really kind of an interesting piece of this too.
Yeah.
Just from a a collector perspective. But yeah, because the Snaggletooth or Snivian character that never wore that costume in the movie, but that was how the character was dressed in the holiday special.
Wow. I wonder how much those would go for if people kept those in collectible condition. They must be worth thousands of dollars now.
Some are. Some certainly are if they're in pristine conditions and, the card backs are perfect. It's very difficult to find those, especially I think the original. How many ever the original set of those figures were? The number was it an 18 card back or something? Those bring in a little bit more money than others.
Oh wow!
But the holiday special was kind of a frame of reference because the cantina scene goes by so quick, and this was even if you saw the movie 6 or 7 times as a kid when it was a little cheaper, you don't see all those pieces. So the holiday special and those and the still images, as you've just shown, Pam, those kind of help inform and remind the fans what happened in the first movie as they were waiting for other media to come out.
Because remember, you had to wait a while between the first Star Wars and Empire.
Yeah.
That was several years. And so
3 years, although they did re-release and the Star Wars came out initially in May of 77. They re-released it in 1978.
Yeah.
Because obviously there was such a demand for it. But yeah, you had to wait until May of 1980 for The Empire Strikes Back.
And that, as kids, that was a long time.
Forever.
I mean, 2 years, 3 years, that was like forever when you're a kid. So it was just when that came out, and then the not Return of the Jedi. It is Return of the Jedi. That was like, oh my gosh, it's how long are they gonna wait? So I just am glad we were alive to see the originals at the movies and not restricted to the small screen.
Yeah.
So speaking of small screen, let's talk about the new Lego holiday special, and let's show a clip from that.
All right.
Twas the night before Life Day, in a galaxy far, far away.
Looking good. Tree, food, decorations.
Coming together heroes were to celebrate the day.
Please be a cape. Please be a cape.
For Rey, adventure called, and she thought it would be fast.
Wow.
But there she found a key to the galaxy's past.
Oh, Master Luke, what are you doing? This is so cool! You see my master. My master's master.
Concentrate.
My master's father.
Impressive.
My master's father's master.
Emperor Palpatine? I don't believe it.
You think maybe you could put a shirt on?
For space and time.
I will change to the future.
So where are you?
Less talky, more fighty.
All races. Jinx.
Oh, double jinx!
So cute.
Ooh, gimme. Galaxy's best emperor.
You thinking what I'm thinking? Music.
A time of joy. This is
Ray.
of friendship, of family.
Who are you guys?
Master Skywalker.
My son. I mean, these binary sons.
Una solos?
You want to shoot first?
After you.
Pat, why don't you start off?
Oh, there were so many good. It was so nice to see them span through all of the actual movies, without detouring into Clone Wars and all that stuff. Through the movies, and just such a really good job at bringing the whole Lego feel to it. Just that bit of humor and things that weren't very funny, like obviously like the Emperor in that clip there. whatever. Could you put a shirt on? And there's so many little side jokes that if you watch the movies, you got everything. I get that. Yeah, I see what you say that. And I thought it was really well done. I pretty much enjoy all the Lego properties that they put out. They generally tend to be a really good product as far as entertainment value, but they never take themselves that serious. And this didn't either. That was great. And it was very coherent compared to the previous subject.
Oh yeah, no, it was really well done. It's got that. It's got the great comedic effect, the inside jokes for people who love the story. And so I thought it was fantastic to see those pieces. Lego does a great job. It is I think it's right now still the #1 toy in the world, and it's been doing really well. And their investment in the Star Wars properties have been a blast. And bringing those characters to life in that style and that scale, that was just pure fun. Really well done.
Oh yeah, I did really enjoy the way they. Well, obviously they made Rey like the traveler through all the different versions, and so she was able to like she said, Master Luke, and it's like dude's like, yeah, I'm nobody, it was really, like I said, super good.
It was fun. Now with Disney owning it, you kind of understand that they are going hell or high water. They're going to push Rey, and they're going to push their sequel trilogy that they've got their stamps on. But it was really fun and well done. The great jokes. I mean, the trailer that Pam just led with really it encapsulated the whole thing. The funny, the inside jokes. You saw all the characters, even the pieces what fans have been frustrated about. Han not shooting first. Those kind of things. That was real. It was all just fun. Just pure.
Yeah, well, that was one of those inside type of jokes that only true Star Wars fans are going to get.
That's right.
Because we saw the original where Han did shoot first, and then we see the retconned one that Lucas put out when he was looking to make money again with the re-releases of the special editions where Greedo shoots first.
And I just and really kind of a head scratching decision. And one of the things, as much as I love the work, and we have to thank Lucas for creating this for on so many levels. Yeah, he's got some revisionist history when he tells a story from one time period to another. And it's like, dude, you're not being even honest with yourself in that when the whole Han shoots first deal. Because it was clear Han shot first, and we can all joke about it now. And it's great that I think even Lucas wore a T-shirt once that said Han shot first. So he accepts it and is in on the joke too, as he continues to cash those checks.
Oh yeah.
Right. Oh yeah. And he should. Let's go back and let's one of you explain what the actual show is about. It's about so this is after everything is ended. The First Order has been destroyed, and now Rey is trying to train Finn to be a Jedi. She's trying to teach him in the ways of the Jedi, and is having a difficult time. And so she goes on a journey to discover what it means to be a teacher and what it means to be a Jedi and to train Jedi. And so they travel viewing the different versions of Jedi masters and Jedi apprentices, and also run up on Darth Vader, Palpatine, and Kylo Ren. And she has to then fight her way back to understand what her role is now. And so it was really good to see this. I thought it was an excellent kind of I don't know, it's kind of like pizza. You got all the ingredients there, all the right toppings, and it tastes delicious. So everything really seemed to work well. It was fun. They had some in-joke humor in there, but they also had a really touching message about friendship and love and companionship and teaching. And so I thought, I'm an educator, that was a really great message to hear that, all teachers fail, but you learn so much more from it, and your pupils learn from it too. So it's not always going to go well. So all you teachers out there, thank you.
Right.
Also, sometimes that student you worried about the most turns out all right at the end. So,
well, and Pam, one of the things about this I thought was really good and maybe kind of goes underappreciated is this whole part of Finn's journey that they didn't have enough time to really get into. There was a plan because remember in the first movie, The Force Awakens, he uses the lightsaber. He picks it up twice in defending Rey and trying to get to Rey to rescue her both times. And one of the things that they kind of ran out of time and all was he was to be a Force sensitive character. And so, they didn't really get into that is really was kind of chopped down in time in the last one, really the last two, to be honest. And this was kind of allowing him to kind of show who he was supposed to be. Obviously, everything's done in a lighthearted way, but he was to be a new member of the Jedi ranks.
And I was surprised. I was glad that they finally said something about it.
Yeah.
Because that's what I thought from the very beginning. I was like, why would they bring him in and not make him a Jedi? So, but politics the way it is, they didn't. And so, and he, I think, as an actor, had a lot of things to say about how they did end up editing his character.
Oh yeah.
And he was right. I didn't particularly care for his character because I felt like they didn't do him justice. And I thought that they could have made him more heroic and more, like a young Han Solo or something. But they did something real different.
It was totally a placeholder spot that they put him in. I mean,
eventually that's what it became.
The first movie, he was so prominent, and you thought, man, there's going to be a story about him,
right?
As much as it is going to be about Rey, and he got relegated to at best a secondary role.
Right.
The next two movies, it was just kind of like him and Poe were just kind of like co-equal co-stars, and Poe didn't have anything to do in it. But all of a sudden, neither did he. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
What happened? But it went kind of left, but I still loved it. But
becoming a Jedi though, and actually in the show, this is what she's trying to do. She's trying to train him, and like, oh, get it now,
Yeah. So I'm glad they brought that back into the series, and maybe who knows if they will. I think they still have plans for more movies. Am I right about that?
They're trying to figure out what to do next and where to be, because I think that obviously Disney was very successful with the way they launched the Marvel movies with the different heroes and origin stories and then bringing people together. And with the fact that they had, for better or for worse, I think Rian Johnson's version really didn't kind of align with the J.J. Abrams version at the beginning. His vision, they bring J.J. back, to kind of let's conclude this. So they've been and there was a lot of, Solo didn't do that well at the theater. They've had a lot of issues. So I think they're trying to kind of reset, figure out where to go. The Disney Plus, they've got obviously The Mandalorian, which is successful. There's a lot of talk about an Obi-Wan, a Boba Fett, and an Ahsoka show. And there's even another one. There's another show focusing on, at least it's been in development, starring Brie Larson as a Jedi during the time of what they're referring to as the High Republic, I believe. So pre Phantom Menace. When Yoda, obviously 800 years old, Yoda's going to be around, but before Yoda is as old and wise as we know, from what I understand. But they're looking at a lot of different media right now, trying to regain their footing. While the movie still made a lot of money here in the United States, China is a very large market.
Right.
China has not embraced Star Wars.
Huh.
None of those films have done really well there.
How they did them and portrayed them in the Phantom Menace and all those kind of series, I wouldn't be too favorable to that either if I were in the Chinese people. Although you see elements of, well, the whole original series had a Chinese philosophy kind of grounding of it.
Japanese.
Some Zen aspects of it.
Yeah, and
authoritarian governments really don't like liberation. They don't like a lot of rebel fighting government. So that might be a little bit of that. More so than the inappropriate bad accents that they use in Phantom Menace.
Right.
They're like,
I think it's a lot more about we don't like it. Star Wars is really popular in Germany, but like they kind of understand what George Lucas was going for from the uniforms and the attitude. They understood their past and accepted it. China still wearing the bad guy hat. So I hope you're not sponsored by Huawei or any of those other companies, Pam. But we'll see what happens. Whoops. Well, this is my last show, so thank you all for tuning in to me.
Well, thanks, Professor. But I think what I liked about this show was it really had something for everyone, and it did it well. You know, sometimes they try to have too much and it falls apart because it's just too much and they can't do everything. But I think you got the flavor of enough, and going back and seeing, when they said the Jedi, the Master and Apprentice, is also about friendship. And I was like, you know what? I never thought about it like that, but it really is. So that's why the betrayals hurt so much more. So because they were friends. And so I thought that when they talked about Life Day, I thought, you know what? That's kind of a cool holiday. Somebody should start a campaign to have Life Day as one of the national calendar days.
Yeah.
And pick a day to have it the Saturday after Thanksgiving or something. Have Life Day to celebrate. Well, we'll celebrate Life Day on this show. So
there we go.
Okay, we have any more thoughts about this episode, the holiday specials, or any other old holiday special from the Star Wars family? There was one with the Ewoks. I'm sorry?
Only to say this was just pure fun. I think the Lego version was just a really great way. Whatever your favorite part of Star Wars is, it brought a smile to your face, all the pieces. You could really enjoy all the segments because it was just really fun.
Yeah. And I think Disney Plus is really doing a fantastic job with their gaining the Star Wars universe. And so they're expanding just in the right way. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're, I will tell you that I'm hoping that Disney Plus, or not Disney Plus, but Disney as a whole gets their game kind of up for the movies. If they're going to do movies, I mean, I'm looking at how well they've done The Mandalorian, and they've given it obviously to someone who really gets the material, gets the fans, is able to plan a long-term story arc that works well. Whereas it, like we were talking about, about the last three movies, they jumped all over the damn place, and it looked, and there was the third movie, which I know you love, Pam, and you're wrong.
We'll get to that.
They do all these damn magic maneuvers to let's bring back someone who's dead, and all this kind. It's like a damn soap opera. It was so bad. They were trying.
They all are soap operas. That's what they are.
Well, there's good soap operas and bad soap operas, which this one was. This is one of the bad ones. I'm sorry.
No.
Star Wars is so, and the thing is,
Okay, so we'll talk about it on December 20th.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we will chop it up about our feelings about the entire 9-movie, well, I guess 11-movie trilogy, series of Star Wars, and give you our opinions on it.
Well,
but
we need to figure out what our top Star Wars movie is.
Yeah.
Which one?
We'll have that.
Your best one was, and I say what?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. We can talk about the top,
what our best Star
the worst,
Wars is.
And the which order do you like the best?
Okay.
In the series.
Good call.
Yeah. And that will, I think that'll be a lively, spirited show.
It will be.
Better bring
we'll
And you know what? I tell you, I think, and one thing too, now this is thinking about this, what we're doing here down the road when things are back open, a little bit, a level of normalcy. We need to do this show from Galaxy's Edge. We need to go to Florida or California.
Yeah.
We need to do this show on location there in the streets there of Bantu, I think it is. It's a Black Spire outpost. We've got to do that. We should walk the streets and talk this show.
Yeah. And I'll bring my husband, Mr. Chewbacca, and he'll join us.
That would be awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. So look forward to that once we open up. And the only way we can all open up is everybody wear a mask and social distance and do your part so you can see our show from Galaxy's Edge. If you don't do it for any other reason.
That's right.
Well, that I think will kind of wrap us up today. And we have David, do you have any other little special Star Wars character items or anything to show us?
Not right now. I'm in the midst of customizing some figures.
All right.
So I did a little bit of that this afternoon and after watching a little football. So and kind of updating, speaking of the whole Galaxy's Edge, Disney's first foray into Star Wars was the Star Tours ride. And you saw Disney employees dressed in these orange and blue. This is one of the action figures. I'm working on creating some new ones with these.
Is he missing a head or is it me?
He is missing a head. That's what happens when you're in the middle of customizing. You've got your toys in pieces here. There's a little head. So we'll be doing some stuff with these. Putting these together. So that's all I've got from this side of things here.
Well, I have been drinking my Mandalorian tea from Republic of Tea with well, we learned this week's name is Grogu. And so we're going to chop that up next week. We're going to talk about the chapter 13, the Jedi episode. Oh, I can't wait to talk about it with you all. And episode chapter 14, we don't know what the title of that one is yet. But definitely we will talk about it. So thank you guys for joining us. Again, check out PJamma Lyfe. And we'll be here 9:00 Saturdays. And thanks for stopping by. I hope you all had a safe and happy Thanksgiving. Blessings to all your families. And take care. Stay safe. Wear a mask. Social distance. And have a good evening. Bye.